Hi guys, going to the supermarket again as usual. I'm at my friend's house. There's, I think, some police here. I'll show you in a bit. Oops. Let's have a gander. Let's have a gander. You can see I wasn't lying, was I? I wasn't lying about my nose either. Let's close these windows. Okay, back windows as well. Yeah, so a subscriber or viewer, Ian Gosling, a nice guy, he keeps asking me about the how is the move going and selling the house, because I said there's some things I can't talk about. Just leave this. Some things I can't talk about. So he said, why don't you talk about the house, selling of the house? So okay, I will. Now, I'm finding it really difficult buying it's difficult buying and selling. So when it comes to selling the house, the price has been reduced a lot, and the estate agent said, well, the auctioneer said, oh, the market is not good at the moment. Interest rates are high, and it's really slow in the countryside selling rural property. So I don't know. It's going to be difficult selling at the price we want. So we reduced the price a lot, and so we are trying to sell at auction. And so the price is going to be like 15 to 20, 25% lower, because when you buy things at auction, you want to buy things really cheap, so then you can maybe sell and make a profit. So the auctioneers, or the people that deal with the auction, got a few viewers. So the last viewer came. It was a young couple, and one evil stepmother. It was complaining. It was saying that there's a nasty pong. There's an awful smell in the surrounding area, because there's a factory there. There's a turkey factory, and so, which is true. There is a smell sometimes, not all the time. I don't know what they do when they wash up or something. And so, when we got this house, we didn't realize, because it doesn't happen all the time. So, and also she said, the land, the 6.6 acres, there's lots of work to do. And you would have thought, right, in the description of the house, it says, house and in the plot of 6.6 acres. Like, there's 6.6 acres. What did you expect? Like the grass to kind of mow itself, or the land is there. It's up to you whether you want to make it grow or cut it down 3 times a year, or buy one of those ride-on things that you can do it yourself. So I don't know. Like, you would have thought that she knew, but she's just trying to put the price down. Bloody hell! There's a woman, right, with leotards. It doesn't look like a leotard. It's like she's short and stocky, and you can see those cheeks. Like they're just two pieces of meat. Like it's not like like you have like these sexy bottoms. It's like she's wearing like a double skin, and they do it on purpose, don't they? It's so tight you can see every crease, every crevice. Like, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked here. Anyway, people do what they want. Sundays used to be sacred. Now Sundays, people just... Yeah, so that's got nothing to do with this. So it's difficult actually selling the house. So when you sell the house at auction, if the person wants to buy, you have to be out of the house within 28 days. They don't give you much time. So my wife was saying to me, like, start looking for a house already now, in case. So you've got a place to go to, a place to relocate to, a place to move on to. So I've been looking, and I've been thinking with all my problems with the damp and everything. Like the UK is quite damp. I think I should go to Spain or like some hot country, maybe Africa. Yeah, to a hot location, a really hot place, or warm place, not hot. And yeah, just be away from the damp. But within the UK, there are places that, in general, it's going to be damp, it's going to be wet, there are places that are drier. So you've got places like Devon and Cornwall that kind of are drier, but those houses are built on rock, so you've got more radon, problems with radon. Radon is a radioactive substance, and they found, I think the study showed that people in Cornwall, like the elderly, have more lung cancer or lung disease, and they say maybe it's because of this radon, this radioactive substance that leaks out or rises up from the ground. So, like, I'm sure one study said something like, if you're a person that lives in one of these radon areas of higher radon gas, if you're inside the house for like 12 hours a day, it's like having an X-ray, basically. It's like having a few X-rays a year. So I don't want that. And the elderly usually stay at home, don't they? And they're sitting at home, walk into the kitchen or to the bathroom, and they're basically in that environment with radon gas. And so that's why there's a high percentage of the elderly in these areas with lung cancer. You could look it up. I might be wrong, but the high incidence, I've seen that, high incidence of lung cancer in high radon areas. And the high radon areas are parts of Devon and Cornwall, definitely. So the places with low radon, and I chose low radon areas, like places in Kent, Norfolk, where the water table is really high. So, but then you have an opposite problem. You've got bloody damp, mold, and that can kill you quicker than the radon gas. It could set you up for loads of bloody problems, as I'm finding out. So this time when I buy a house, I want to buy a house in an area, definitely not in a valley, because that has more mold. And so, like, now when I'm at my friend's house, I really like stepping out onto a pavement and walking to the shops. It feels so nice. After living in the countryside for 7 years, give me a bloody, how do you call it, a city or town location. fed up of rural life. Bloody boring, really boring. In the summertime, it's brilliant. Nice sun, green grass, flowers. The winter, it's just like grey, grey, grey. You've got 6 acres of green grass, all fucking marshes, all waterlogged. You can't do anything. It's freezing. The house is battered by, by the elements. Like my friend, she lives in a terraced house. She hasn't even got the central heating on, and it's warm because you're robbing, not robbing, but you're getting heat from the other 2 houses that maybe have central heating on or some form of heating. Whereas our house in the countryside, if you put central heating on, it's still cold because all that heat like evaporates. And our house is a 500-year-old house, so it doesn't have maybe adequate insulation. And so I was checking online and doing my own research, and I'd like to live in an organic house. I don't know if they exist, but maybe create one myself. So, for example, the insulation in a house is usually that foam insulation. Instead of having that foam insulation, you can put, I think it's hemp or sheep wool or something natural to keep it insulated. Instead of having a house that's painted with normal paint that off gas nasty toxins probably for years, have the house painted with a material that doesn't have toxins or really low. Carpets off gas for a long time. So because of all my various allergies, I have to think about all these things, finding a place. Also, when you go and look for a property, you can get a meter, either dampness meter or mold meter, and you can check in the house, usually the sink, these places, and it will detect how much mold or dampness there is. That's quite cool. I might get one. Well, I think I should get one. So when I'm viewing a property, I could just check in each room, in the places where you're likely to get mold, like the bathroom, the sink, near the sink, the bottom of the sink, near windows when you've got condensation and stuff like that. So what was I going to say? Yeah, that woman passed by again. They do it on purpose, don't they? To drain your energy. She's not draining my energy, put it that way. Not that energy, anyway. She drained me by... Okay, right, fair enough. I'm not going there. I need my energy to recover, to heal. Yeah, so... What was I saying? Trying to find a house is a bit difficult if you've got all these requirements. So my friends were saying, get a house in the city, a nice terraced house. I would love that. I really would love that. The one thing I worry about is neighbours. What if you get some neighbours that start making loads of noise, parties, stuff like that? That's a problem. But with me, I've got 6 dogs. I either rehome them, or what do? I can't imagine living in a terraced house with 6 dogs. Because the danger is one day they'll escape. Like, I'll open the door to get something, and one of them goes out, the whole pack runs out, end up bloody killing someone, and I fucking go to jail. And all of them get put down. It's just too much of a worry for me. You can't have a pack of dogs in a city unless they're unbelievably trained, unbelievably obedient, all drugged up on ganja and and chamomile or something, all neutered, even the girls. I don't know, lavender in their nose, you know, like completely knackered. And still, if they see a cat, that pack mentality, that prey drive will kick in. So they have to be super obedient. Why didn't you train them? I can't train them. I have to bloody explain myself a million times. Because of the environment I'm in, I can't train them because the land where I live is porous. If I try to train one at a time, they go mad because they can see me. They jump on the tables in the kitchen, and the kitchen in the corridor is the only place I can put them. Anyway, to cut a long story short, I haven't been able to because I don't have the right environment to teach them, to train them. Poor dogs. So I have a choice, you know, live in the countryside in an environment, a place that's remote, secluded, away from people. Because the place that we live in now is kind of remote, secluded, but we've got neighbors who live about 200 meters away, and he's still complaining about the dogs barking. Because obviously that sound carries far. If there's not enough trees, if they're just fields, a dog could be barking and you can hear them from maybe 1,000 meters away. You can hear the dogs. I've walked to the nearest village, to the Morrisons. It takes me about 45 minutes. I've walked, and 20 minutes in, I can still hear the dogs barking. So a mile or a few miles, you can still hear the dogs faintly barking. So imagine the people that live next door. That 200 meters, it could be like next door here, when there's nothing to buffer. Yes, you can create fences, create walls, build hedges. Yeah, there's so many rules. You need planning permission to do all that. So I think the best thing for me is to live in a place where I used to live in Wales in a valley, and there's no one around. No one. But the thing is, it's bloody lonely. So on the one hand, I want to have the safety of my dogs, keep them secure and away from people, so I feel safe. Because living in the town, I wouldn't feel safe. I feel safe for myself, but I wouldn't feel safe for other people. You know, and that would be really stressful. Can't go anywhere. You go to the supermarket, you have to go take 6 dogs with you. If you keep them at home, if they jump over a wonky fence, that's it. They're all out, and then you're in the local or national newspaper. They fucking killed a few people, and then I'm on the run. No, I tell you, that scares me. So I have to go to a rural location, train them, obedience training, keep them in a secure place so they can't get out, and then one by one take them out for walks in a village setting, or where there's some people, some dogs. Train them one by one, 2 by 2, 3 by 3, you know, like that. The 3 least reactive dogs, you know, and then the most reactive dogs, like 2 of them maybe, I will train them more and more, you know. Like if they see a dog and start barking, no. If they see a dog and I say sit down and they're quiet, quickly give them something, a goodie, like the peanut butter thing, something, a goodie, you know, and then they realize they anchor that habit, and they think, oh, okay, if I don't bark, it's a good thing, and my daddy's happy, and I get something to eat. That's brilliant. So I have to do all these things, but I can't take all of them. They will all egg each other on, especially that Sally. She's the instigator of evil, of trouble. She sees even a small child, and then the others don't know what they're doing, so they bark as well. as I say, that pack mentality is just like it's an energy that goes through them. They don't know why they're doing something, but they attack as well. So yeah, so when it comes to buying a house, selling a house, I'm finding it difficult to sell the house. Apparently, this house that we have took 2 years to sell, and my wife told me that apparently they sold because they were also getting divorced. Wonderful. If I knew that, I wouldn't have bloody sold. I wouldn't have bought the house in the first place, because there was a house that I wanted to buy, and was it in Devon, and they said the buyers are selling because they're getting a divorce, and I thought, no, that's bad energy, bad chi. So decided not to buy it. But I didn't realize when it came to this house. Anyway, so it's taken a long time to sell this house. We now have it at auction, but if you can sell for the normal price, just wait and sell for the normal price, then we can get more money for it. But the thing is, having to wait until spring maybe, and the money situation isn't good, so we have to sell earlier. Needs must, as they say. We have to sell as soon as possible. So that's why these people, they try it on. They know that you're desperate, because otherwise you wouldn't be selling it at auction. And so they come up with these things. I don't like this. This is not nice. Oh yeah. So the lady apparently said, because of the smell of the poultry farm, or the turkey farm or whatever, and all the land, we're going to have to reduce it by a considerable amount. It's already reduced by a considerable amount. It's like 20% lower than the market price. That's a massive. What are we talking about? Even more, I think. So if you're selling a house for $1 million, then you reduce it by 20%. You're selling it for 800,000, or 500,000 down to 400,000. And then they're saying, no, we want it considerably less because of these two factors. Nothing wrong with the house, nothing wrong with the land. Still has to be a considerable reduction. Yeah. I told my wife to tell her to go in herself. Go in F herself. And luckily, I don't have to deal with these people. I'll probably be arrested. We're not trying to sell a product where we're bartering, with the price. This is our home, I tell you, if I had a chance, I'd sell this home for a lot more. It's ridiculous. We're actually selling the home less than we bought it. We bought this house 7 years ago at X price, and now we're selling it for less than X price. Anyway. But yeah, I'm going to have to... So I'm looking for places. So places that have less damp and less less wet. Obviously avoid the valleys, places that are more susceptible, areas that are susceptible for flooding. But Norfolk has a higher water table. I assume that in a few hundred years, all that part of Norfolk, that area, will be underwater because it's so high. In the winter, the ponds all fill up with water, and in the outskirts of the land gets waterlogged, flooded. Some places near the railway station do get flooded every few years. So this area is as I said, a higher water table. area. So not good for someone who's bloody got arthritis or has got problems with mold. You can do things as well, to try and limit mold exposure. You can use infrared light panels. You can use a HEPA filter, HEPA, for where you sleep. You can use dehumidifiers. So there are certain things you can do. But if you live in a house where the water table is high, it's like you're swimming around water. Like water is so close to your feet, and it evaporates, and you've got water all around you. So as I said, for arthritis, I don't think it's good, and for mold sufferers, and all of us suffer from mold, whether we think we don't or not. It just hasn't reached the level where it's pronounced. So yeah, I'm going to have to look for a place that has. But how do I weigh up what I want to do? I want a rural area. Like, an ideal area would be near woods, but not inside the woods, because you've got mold there, because the the leaves that fall down are usually moist, and mold tends to grow. So you need a place that's airy. So I'd like to live near the woods and near a mountain, not in a valley. Maybe on a slope, up on a mountain near woods. It's not a place that's airy. But usually all those houses are old cottages. So old houses will have mold, more mold. Those small fucking windows. You need an airy place with lots of light. So I have to think about all these factors when I'm looking for a place, because I don't want to make a mistake again. I'd like to live, for example, in maybe Spain. Well, the thought is there, Spain or Italy, somewhere warm, really warm, where you don't have these bloody mold problems. But then I would lose my pension. Whatever pension that I'm going to get, I don't want to lose that. I just don't want to lose that. Because otherwise, if I can't make any money, if I can't make this YouTube work, then I'm in big trouble without a pension. So, some people say, well, buy a small place in Spain and then live in England. How much money do you think I've got? If I wasn't divorced, I had the money. Before I got married, I had that money. I could have bought a small place in Spain and have a small place here. And take that Eurostar every 6 months or whatever. But now, those bloody boat people have got more money than I have. They do. You see them. They've all got nice clothes, nice mobile. Well, I have a nice mobile now. But it's not top of the range, although I'm bloody grateful. It doesn't sound like I'm grateful, but I am. But we all want the best, though, don't we? If we can get it. These guys have got new clothes. Like my trainers, I've got holes. I've got a hole in the trainer. Can I show you? I can't, because I can't move it. I'm not bloody lying. Can you see the hole in that trainer? So I'm not lying. I don't have the best clothes because I can't afford it. Luckily my wife did get something for me from the charity shop. What was it called? Thrift store. Really cheap. A coat for £10, which would have cost maybe 100 quid or whatever. So I try to save money wherever I can. With food you can't save money, so now I've got to go and get some food for the doggies. So there's my video about my situation with housing. I have to then again, even if I had a place in the country in a warm climate like Spain, spend the winter in Spain and the summer in England. That would be brilliant. First you have to have the money, But then there's 6 dogs. I have to transport these dogs. It is possible, right? If you've got a big car and don't know, like some kind of doggy trailer or whatever, can be done, of course. But yeah, you need the money. But there's no point thinking about that at the moment because I don't have the money at the moment. So I'm gonna have to find a place. The warmest places in the UK are the Isle of Wight. You're getting kind of like a northern France kind of temperature or climate, should I say? Or where else? I was thinking the south. You know, Hastings, places like that. It should be warmer there. But then I have to factor in all those toxins, that mold and everything that harms my body. I have to choose a place that's perfect or okay for my constitution. I was thinking of getting some land, right? And then, or you have to make the council happy, don't you? So you have to get some land with a small house, like a 2-bedroom tiny house in a plot of land, and then on the land creating a run and getting a nice camper van, so you can live on the in the camper van and fix the small house and try and make it as healthy as possible. I don't know, that would be like the cheapest solution is just buying land and just buying a camper van, or one of those tiny homes. Tiny home. There's Elon Musk, those tiny homes for £8,000 or $8,000. But how long will they? They probably last about 10-20 years, if that. And then you have to buy another one or move or something. Well, anyway, I better go and see if I can get some goodies, because it's 12 o'clock, and at the Co-op, this is the best time on a Sunday. They close at 4, but in the reduced section you can find a lot of things. So I'll have a look, and then I'll go to the Morrisons to get the meat for the doggies. Speak to you guys later. Bye.